Revealing report, the National Transportation Safety Board releases its preliminary findings into a deadly bus crash in southwest Baltimore that killed 6 people. WJZ is live where the wreck happened just weeks ago. George Solis breaks down the report that centers around the school bus driver. George.
Yeah, good evening, Vic. The report reveals that Chappelle had a history of seizures among other medical issues, which may have likely contributed to a dozen crashes he had within the past 5 years. It's been called one of the deadliest crashes in Baltimore's history. The mangled mess of metal and debris, the aftermath of the early November collision between a school and MTA bus where 6 people lost their lives. The National Transportation Safety Board responding immediately with a team of investigators to figure out what went wrong while school bus driver Glenn Chappelle was behind the wheel.
The mission of the NTSB is to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and to make recommendations to prevent these types of crashes from happening again in the future.
Now, the first glimpse into that long-term goal is on the table. The NTSB releasing their preliminary findings, taking note of Chappelle's history of seizures and 12 crashes in 5 years, many of which were the result of seizure-like episodes. The report also finding that Chappelle was speeding before crashing into a Ford Mustang prior to the MTA bus. It also points out that a week before the crash, Chappelle had a medical emergency at his employer, AA Affordable, that quote, witnesses described as a seizure. Though Chappelle did have a current medical certificate, it wasn't on file with the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration, meaning he was no longer authorized to drive the bus. One of the victim's family members tells us, as shocking as the report's findings are, they're really not that surprising. What's more, they don't change the fact that their loved one is gone.
To blame something is not going to bring her back.
MTA bus driver Ebony Baker's father opening up to WJZ.
He knows history better than anybody else. I mean, could have found some other type of work to do. You know, that's a bus is a loaded gun.
Now, Vic, we also now know that the school bus aide on board the school bus did try and reach out to Chappelle after the first crash, but was unable to. Ebony's father tells WJZ that given what we now know about Chappelle's medical history, the accident is inexcusable and hopes someone will hold someone else accountable. We're live tonight. George Solis, WJZ Eyewitness News.
George, thank you. The crash still is under investigation. The NTSB did find that neither driver was on their cell phones at the time of the crash.